Hi, good day, and welcome to today's video, a short video on the 6 aspects of health. My name is Dr. Radley Ramdan, naturopathic doctor and acupuncturist. So today's topic, 6 aspects of health, it basically deals with how does one take a holistic approach, and each individual has a different way when it comes to taking a holistic approach. What does that mean for them, and how do they approach it? For my personal use, I approach it through 6 different aspects of health. So starting with the 6 aspects of health, like I said, everyone has a different approach to them. I use the 6 approach, and this is what I've been using since I'm in school, and even after I graduated, I continued using these 6 aspects. So the 6 aspects that I use are mental, physical, emotional, environmental, social, and spiritual. There's no specific order that one has to focus on them. The goal is that you focus on all aspects of them throughout your day-to-day living. And like I said, everyone has a different approach. So some people might say that there might be overlaps in terms of the way that it's divided in terms of my case. Again, each one are not necessarily separate. They do at some point in time all overlap with each other, and focusing on one may be beneficial to another one. So digging a little bit more into what the 6 aspects of health are. The mental aspect of health focuses mainly on your capacity to understand things, solve problems, your decision-making ability, and your psychological resilience. Your physical aspects of health would be focused on your appearance, so your physical appearance and your fitness level. How are you with physical activity? Emotional aspect would be dealing with your stability of emotion and your maturity of feeling. So basically that is where you would feel comfortable to express any emotion, and you would have control of the way that you express the emotion. You would not actually be in a position where if you have optimal health or good emotional health, you wouldn't be suppressing one emotion and covering it up using another. You would be comfortable enough to express it in a constructive manner for yourself, and you would have that control over the way the emotions expressed. Environmental health basically covers our surroundings, the air that we breathe, the water that we drink, the food that we consume, the people that we have around us. They all play part of the environmental aspect of health. Then there's the social aspect of health. So just like I said, there are overlaps within each one. In the environmental aspect, you talk about the people that you have around you. The social aspect of the health would be, how do you relate to those people that you have around you? How do you relate to the people on your job, at your home, when you go out into a crowd? How do you relate, and how do you interact with these people, be it strangers or be it somebody that you are familiar with? And last but by no means least, the spiritual aspect of health. Everyone has a different religious background. Everyone has a different belief, whether it comes to being religious or not. Spiritual aspect of health doesn't have to do specifically with a religion. It has more to do with your meaning and your direction in life. How do you connect to the bigger world as a whole? So that is basically what the 6 aspects of health include, and that's what the spiritual aspect of health would include: your meaning and your direction in life, and how do you connect to the larger picture. So some simple questions that you could ask yourself to see how do you feel, or how do you correlate with these aspects of health. When it comes to mental health, how good do you feel about yourself? When it comes to physical health, how well is your body performing? Emotionally, you could be asking, how well do you feel emotionally and psychologically? Are you able to express the emotions comfortable, and it not creating that psychological impact on you? And again, this shows an overlap of where mental health and emotional health may overlap. Environmental health, how are you interacting with your surroundings? Social, how well are you interacting with others around you? And then spiritual aspect of health, do you live with a higher purpose? And are you connecting to that higher purpose? Are you fulfilling that higher purpose? And do you feel connected to some type of higher power, or to the universe, as the case might be? So again, today was just a short overview of what 6 aspects of health is and the holistic approach that I use. I've talked about the 6 aspects of health in my book, Trauma to PTSD, Root Causes to Healing Branches, which basically focus on trauma and PTSD, how it affects us as an individual. A lot of it covers things that we tend to overlook as trauma. And we try not to fit into that diagnostic box of being diagnosed with PTSD, but understanding how does trauma itself, how does different aspects of trauma affect you as an individual. And again, when you take into account the 6 aspects of health, when you focus on them and you understand, especially the emotional and mental aspect of health, even as far as the physical and social, spiritual, and environmental, they all play a part in how does trauma affect you. So if you have good a good approach to supporting all of those, it could reduce your risk of developing PTSD. So as we go through our daily lives, you're often exposed to different types of traumas, different types of stresses and all that. So the book talks about these 6 aspects into a little bit more detail than what we covered today, and how do you sort of take a healthier approach to each one of these. So again, so if you have any interest in my book, it's called Trauma to PTSD. Visit the website www.traumatoptsd.com. Here you see the logo for Headstrong. Headstrong is an organization. It's a veteran organization that supports mental health and providing free healthcare for veterans and their family members, which to me, being a veteran myself, it's a huge deal because too often we see different types of mental health being affected in the veteran population, and they tend to be the one that least likely to seek, or sometimes even least likely to get the best help that they could get. There are significant strides in terms of what is being offered to each one of them, but I like the organization's stance of where they provide it for free for individuals affected with various types of mental health, especially the veteran community and their family, not just veterans, because when one's affected, just like we consider the 6 aspects of health, community environment plays a part. So if you help heal the veteran, you help heal the people around them, then that plays a bigger part. So again, that's why I like the idea of supporting Headstrong. So 10% of my sales of this book, Trauma to PTSD, will be given to the Headstrong organization. So again, anyone interested in the book Trauma to PTSD, Root Causes to Healing Branches, it's not written specifically for veterans. It's written for anyone who think they may have been affected by trauma, who goes through any type of stress. That gives you a deeper understanding of how often we have commonly overlooked things that develop, and we sort of bury it down deep, and then it plays part into our bigger health overall. So again, Trauma to PTSD, Root Causes to Healing Branches, it's not specific to individuals affected by trauma or PTSD, but it's for anyone. It's a simple, straightforward read that gives you a deeper understanding of various root causes, and it provides you with some of the healing branches, understanding that there are multiple options available. So again, check it out, www.traumatoptsd.com. And again, like I said, 10% of the sales will be going towards the Headstrong organization. And I want to leave you with one quote. You don't need optimal health, but you deserve optimal health. The more you tell yourself that, it's the more likely that you would stick to finding that holistic approach and supporting yourself, because too often we don't know how great we feel until we feel great. So oftentimes we feel that our health's okay and we feel that's the best that it could be. But until you start making certain changes and you start making certain strides, then you realize how much more optimal our health could be. So again, we don't need optimal health to be surviving, but tell yourself that you deserve it and you have the ability thereon to move from just surviving and rather thriving. So again, thank you for joining in on today's short talk. Do hope that you enjoyed it. Take care. Bye.